Have you ever stopped to wonder where you will be 10 or 20 years from today? Will you be that vibrant senior taking a brisk walk in the park every morning? Or will you be someone who feels like a prisoner in your own body? Will you be dependent on a cocktail of pills and the help of others just to get through the day? It is a frightening question, and for many of us in our 50s and 60s, it is a question that keeps us up at night. We see our friends and family members struggling with their health, losing their independence, and slowly fading away. We find ourselves wondering if that same fate is waiting for us. But what if I told you that your future is not written in your genes or determined by your luck? What if I told you that the secret to a long, sharp, and deeply fulfilling life is not found in expensive supplements? It is not found in exhausting gym routines that your joints can no longer handle. In Japan, a country that consistently produces the longest lived people on the planet, the secret to longevity is found in something much simpler. It is found in habits so small they are almost invisible, yet so powerful they can literally reshape your biology. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you 8 tiny Japanese habits that will change the trajectory of your aging process. I am not here to give you a lecture on philosophy or ask you to overhaul your entire life overnight. Instead, I am going to give you practical, 2-minute actions that you can start today to reclaim your health, your mental clarity, and your autonomy. Pay close attention to the third habit because it reveals exactly why the Japanese have some of the lowest stroke rates in the world. Let us begin with the first secret to a resilient life, a concept known as Kaizen. In our culture, we are often told that if we want to change, we have to go big or go home. We wait until January 1st to start a massive diet. We join a gym and try to work out for an hour every day. Within 3 weeks, we are burnt out and right back where we started. Kaizen is the complete opposite of that exhausting cycle. It is the art of continuous improvement through steps so tiny that they are impossible to fail. Think of it as the 1% rule. Instead of trying to walk 5 miles today, Kaizen asks you to just put on your walking shoes and stand outside for 1 minute. If you want to improve your heart health, do not worry about a high-impact class. Just commit to one single push-up or 1 minute of stretching while your coffee brews. The goal of Kaizen is to remove the friction that your brain feels when it encounters change. By making the task so small it feels almost silly, you bypass the part of your brain that wants to resist and stay comfortable. Over time, these tiny 1% improvements compound, much like interest in a bank account. Before you know it, that 1 minute has become 10. That one push-up has become a routine that keeps your muscles strong and your balance steady. But physical health is only half of the equation. For a truly long life, you need a reason to keep your heart beating, which brings us to the second habit, Ikigai. In the West, we often view retirement as the finish line, a time to stop working and finally sit down. But in places like Okinawa, one of the famous blue zones where people regularly live past 100, there is no word for retirement. Instead, they have Ikigai, which translates to your reason for being or the reason you get out of bed in the morning. For some, it is tending to a small garden. For others, it is the joy of teaching a craft to a grandchild or volunteering in the community. Scientific studies have shown that having a sense of purpose is one of the strongest predictors of longevity. When you feel that you are needed, that you have a contribution to make, your body responds by keeping your immune system strong. Your mind stays sharp because it has a mission to accomplish. If you are feeling a bit lost in this stage of life, do not go looking for a grand mission. Start small by asking yourself, what brings you a spark of joy right now? Is it the smell of old books, the precision of woodworking, or the simple act of making a perfect cup of tea for a friend? Your Ikigai is yours alone, and finding it is the ultimate medicine for the soul. Now, let us talk about the habit that directly impacts your physical longevity more than almost anything else, Hara Hachi Bu. This is the secret behind the slender frames and healthy hearts of the Japanese elderly. Most of us were raised with the idea that we should finish everything on our plate. However, our plates are often twice as large as they actually need to be. Hara Hachi Bu is a simple reminder to eat until you are only 80% full. Here is the biological reality. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to send a signal to your brain that you are satisfied. If you eat until you feel full, you have actually already overeaten by about 20%. That extra 20% is what causes weight gain, inflammation, and massive stress on your cardiovascular system. By stopping when you are no longer hungry, rather than when you are stuffed, you give your body exactly what it needs. You function better without the burden of the excess calories to process. A practical way to start this today is to use smaller plates. You can also simply put your fork down halfway through your meal and take a few deep breaths. Ask yourself, am I still truly hungry, or am I just eating because the food is there? This small shift in awareness can prevent the weight gain that often leads to diabetes and heart disease as we age. As we move to the fourth habit, we find a remedy for the modern epidemic of stress, Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. You do not need to be a hiker or an athlete to benefit from this. You simply need to be present in nature. In Japan, doctors actually prescribe forest bathing as a legitimate medical treatment for high blood pressure and anxiety. When you walk slowly through a park or sit under a tree, you're breathing in organic compounds called phytoncides. These are essential oils that plants give off to protect themselves from insects and decay. When we breathe them in, they significantly increase our count of natural killer cells. These cells are the frontline soldiers of our immune system that fight off infections and even cancer cells. If you are struggling with joint pain or low energy, try spending just 15 minutes a day near trees. Turn off your phone, leave the podcast for later, and simply listen to the wind and look at the different shades of green. This is not wasted time. It is a profound reset for your nervous system that lowers cortisol. It allows your body to enter a state of deep healing. But what about the parts of our lives that are not perfect, like the wrinkles on our faces or the mistakes we have made? The fifth habit, Wabi-sabi, is a mental shift that will free you from the exhausting trap of perfectionism. We live in a culture that worships youth and flawless beauty. This culture makes us feel like we are failing simply because we are getting older. Wabi-sabi teaches us to find beauty in the imperfect, the impermanent, and the incomplete. A cracked bowl is not broken. It has a history that adds to its character. A weathered face is not flawed. It is a map of a life well lived. It is a record filled with laughter, tears, and earned wisdom. When you embrace wabi-sabi, you stop fighting against the natural process of aging. You start appreciating the unique character that comes only with the passage of time. This acceptance reduces the psychological stress that actually accelerates biological aging. You are not a fading version of your younger self. You are a more complex, refined, and beautiful version of yourself right now. Of course, life is not always easy, and that leads us to the sixth habit, gamen. Gamen is often translated as endurance, but it is much deeper than just toughing it out. It is the ability to maintain your dignity and your inner peace, even when things are difficult. It is about not letting a temporary setback, a health scare, or a family conflict break your spirit. In our world of instant gratification, we have lost the art of patient endurance. When you practice gamen, you are telling yourself that you are stronger than this moment. It is the quiet strength of the willow tree that bends in the storm but does not break. By practicing this emotional resilience, you protect your heart from the damaging effects of sudden anger. You shield yourself from chronic frustration that wears down the body. As we look outward, we find the seventh habit, omoyari, which is the practice of compassionate consideration for others. Longevity researchers have found that social isolation is as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Omoyari is the bridge that keeps us connected to the world around us. It is the habit of anticipating the needs of others and acting with kindness without expecting anything in return. It could be as simple as checking in on a neighbor or holding a door open for a stranger. It might be truly listening to someone without checking your watch or thinking about what to say next. When you act with omoyari, your brain releases oxytocin, also known as the cuddle hormone. This hormone lowers your blood pressure and significantly reduces physical pain. By focusing on how you can make life a little easier for someone else, your own worries begin to shrink. You create a support network that will be there for you when you need it most. Finally, we come to the eighth habit, kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. In Japan, when a precious vase breaks, they do not throw it away or try to hide the cracks. They use a gold-dusted lacquer to highlight the seams. This makes the repaired piece even more valuable than the original ever was. Kintsugi is the ultimate metaphor for the human spirit as we age. We have all been broken at some point in our journey. We have lost loved ones. We have faced illnesses. And we have had our hearts broken by life. But those cracks are not something to be ashamed of or hidden. They are the places where the gold of your character has been poured. Your scars are proof of your survival and your incredible strength. When you view your life through the lens of kintsugi, you stop seeing yourself as damaged. You start seeing yourself as a masterpiece of resilience. You are not just surviving. You are being transformed into something stronger and more radiant. So, where do you go from here? The beauty of these 8 habits is that you do not have to master them all at once. In fact, trying to do so would go against the very spirit of Kaizen. I want you to pick just one habit that resonated with you the most today. Maybe it is the 80% rule at dinner tonight. Perhaps it is the 1-minute stretch tomorrow morning while you wait for the kettle. Whatever it is, start tiny. Commit to the action itself, not the long-term result. The secret to a life that is calm, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling is not found in a single giant leap. It is found in the thousands of tiny choices you make every single day. You have the power to choose health over decay. You have the power to choose peace over anxiety and purpose over stagnation. You have the power to become the person who is still thriving well into your 90s and beyond. The gold is already within you. You just have to let it shine through the cracks. If this perspective on habits and longevity has spoken to you, I invite you to join our community. We are all on this journey of aging together, and there is so much wisdom left for us to share. Before you go, I have one simple question for you. Which one of these 8 habits are you going to try for just 2 minutes today? Please share your choice in the comments below. Your commitment might just be the inspiration someone else needs to start their own journey. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to invest in yourself. I will see you in the next video as we continue to explore the path to a long and beautiful life. Be well, be intentional, and remember that it is the tiny things that make the massive difference.